Hey friends, Graham here from the recordingrevolution.com, and I am coming to you from my local Starbucks, and it ties into today's video. I want to talk about the secret to staying creative. You need to stay creative if you're a mixer, because mixing is an art. It's not a science, it's an art. You need to stay creative if you are a recording engineer, because recording is an art, not a science, it's an art. You need to stay creative if you're a songwriter or a band or a producer, because that's a little more obvious. You're creating songs. So creativity is so important to doing what we do, whether it's just for fun as a hobby or whether you work with clients. You got to stay creative. And you can't stay creative if you stay in your same environment. The secret to staying creative is to wake up your brain. Okay? I did an entire album of my own music based off of this concept that I stole from Jay Abraham, who's a brilliant business mind, but something he came up with called the creativity switch. And it's a simple concept that whatever you do every day, your routines, your habits, the way you drive to work, if you read the paper before you drink coffee, or if you get dressed first in the morning, whatever you do normally, you got to switch it up. If you switch up the order of something, or drive a different way to work, or you drink coffee before you read the paper, you skip breakfast, or whatever you do, if you change up your routine, your brain wakes up, and because your brain can get into autopilot mode because it's just trying to conserve energy. So if you change it up, it has to wake up and pay attention, and instantly you ignite that part of your brain that can stay alive, and you see things differently, you absorb information differently, you download stuff differently, and it's a great way to wake up your mind to get new ideas. He talks about it for business, but I use it to make a whole record. So go watch that video, and then you can see the whole EP kind of take place from that. But it's related to you because I'm a great example of what happens when you don't get out of your environment sometimes and you lose creativity. This past week has been one of those weeks. I was talking about with our Dueling Mixes members. It's been one of those weeks where I just am exhausted, banging my head against a wall, trying to make stuff work. No creative ideas related to music or anything. And at some point you realize this is not going to help. Just staying here in my studio and doing the same thing I always do, I've got to literally wake up my brain. So there's a couple ways I did that this week, and I want to share them with you today because they might help you if you're getting stuck in your songwriting, getting stuck in your recording and mixing. If your mixes are sounding the same over and over again and you feel like you're not able to progress in your mixing, this will help you too. Number one is leave your physical environment. So today I'm at Starbucks. It's not really the best place to concentrate. I'm more of an introvert and I prefer the quiet serenity of my studio. But my brain is immediately awake the moment I get here, thinking about things differently as I write an email back to somebody, or as I outline something I want to do, the Recording Revolution, or whatever it is, my brain is awake. So that helps me, at least for a couple hours, get out and experience something different. So maybe go write a song somewhere different. Maybe take your laptop and some headphones like I did in the entire EP on headphones, actually in the Starbucks. Go mix a song somewhere else. Where you physically see something different. One thing I want to do is go mix a record at the beach. So I'll let you know if I do that. That's something I want to do because I love seeing the ocean. Just be in a different physical space, wake up your brain. Number two thing is to stay creative is to change the input that you get. So if you're always reading the same types of books or journals or newspapers or websites, or you're always watching the same type of videos, read or watch something different. For example, if you only watch my videos for your recording and mixing training, you're doing yourself a disservice. I am not the only helpful resource on the planet. There are so many great resources to choose from. So get as much input as you possibly can, whether it's my buddy Joe Gilder at Home Studio Corner, or Kevin Ward at mixcoach.com, or it's Ian Shepard at productionadvice.co.uk, or it's the guys at Pro Tools Expert, or it's my friends at puremix.net, or it's the guys at Mix with Them Masters, or whoever it is, David Glenn Jr., an up-and-coming guy. There's so many resources out there. Recording Rockstar Podcast, Recording Studio Rockstar Podcast by Liz Shaw. The list goes on and on. Pro Audio Files. Just go watch something else that's not my video, or read something else that's not me. Get someone else's input, someone that sees the world in a different way, and get inspired. Or go watch a documentary of your favorite band, or Go listen to an interview with one of your favorite engineers or mixers, on our website, or whatever it is. Get some different input, or go input something that's not related to music whatsoever. Go read philosophers. Go read a book on income tax. If you're a weirdo like me, go read or watch something totally different from someone who's totally unlike you, to just wake up your brain a little bit, to see a different part of the world you haven't seen, or a different side of people you haven't seen, or just a different subject you're not familiar with, if purely for the reason to wake up your brain, so when you come back down to write music, come back down to mix, you have just a different perspective because your brain is in a different gear. When your brain's in the same gear, it's hard to have breakthroughs. So those are the two things. It's really simple. Get out of your environment physically, and then get some different input going into you, whether it's ingesting it by reading or watching it or listening. Get some different input. It'll wake up your brain. Then when you sit back down to mix, you sit down to record, you sit down to write a song, you are going to have new ideas to bring. Even if you don't feel like you learned a specific technique that you're going to apply, your brain will just think differently. And I think you'll have a fresh experience. It'll feel newer. You'll have more fun. You'll work faster because you'll have more vision, because your brain has been stimulated. And you need a stimulated brain to do great work. You need a stimulated brain to create great art. And that's, at the end of the day, what we're doing. That's what the recording revolution is all about. It's helping you be an artist. Songwriter, obviously. But a recording engineer, that's still an artist. A mix engineer, that's an artist. Mastering, that's an art. What we do is art. It's not science. Yes, there's a technical pillar. I talked about this years ago. There's a technical pillar. But that only serves the creative pillar, the artistic pillar. That is the main pillar on which all that we do stands. So if you're not feeding that creative pillar, opening up your mind and waking it up, you'll never do great work. And I want you to do great work. So I hope that helps. The secret to staying creative and having tons of creativity. Leave me a comment below the video. Let me know if you do those two things. You get outside of your physical environment, and if you change your input, and if that's helped you. And subscribe to the videos if they're helpful to you. I appreciate you. I hope these types of videos are helpful. I don't like just tips and tricks all the time. You might. I don't. Tips and tricks are great, but I want to understand the whole thing that I'm doing. I want to be whole as an artist so that I have motivation and inspiration and creativity. So when I go mix and I go record, I can knock it out of the park. That's what I'm trying to do for you as well. Appreciate you watching. Join the mailing list if you want more tips and tricks and content and my best training sent to you directly. It's really, really easy. If you're not on the mailing list, you're completely missing out. Actually send bonus stuff. I just shot a video that sent to my list yesterday with an amazing mix technique that is so helpful that I learned from Jakir King, but I didn't post it anywhere else. I only send it to my mailing list. So if you want that kind of stuff, you got to get on that. It's absolutely free. Just click the button below the video or head over to therecordingrevolution.com. You can't miss it. I'll send you a video series and ebook as well just for signing up. Have a great week. Make some great music. Talk to you soon, friend.